Uh,
We are live.
right. Welcome to the Pint of No Return Show, Season 5, Episode 10, BYOB, Keithless. I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take a strong stout over strife. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life while my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. Oh, bring me lager for life. Welcome to a very special episode of the Pint of No Return Show. It's Gary and me, and we're just gonna kind of be on the mellow tonight. It's gonna be just like a coffee house version
Yeah,
of the Pint of No Return.
a
Just
little quieter.
relax. Yeah, porch sitting.
The music was so mellow that people probably didn't even hear that intro music.
Yeah, I kind of almost did it like a poetry jam reading.
Yeah.
It was really indie coffee. I'm actually putting my feet up, just kind of kicking back.
Nice.
It's been a while since I've been on the podcast. Since the last time I've been on, you and I have both been to Europe.
Yeah, it's wow.
And,
wow, that's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know you were in Britain.
Yeah, I was in England. I spent some time mostly in London, but also a couple days just right about an hour outside of London.
Okay. Is that for work or for pleasure?
For work, but I stayed over a weekend, so I got a couple days to hang out. And
Nice.
Gilly came over, and we had a long weekend in London. So
it's been a rather a roller coaster ride for the British these last few weeks. It all came to a crashing halt today at the hands of the Croatians.
Yeah, no, that was a good game, and I was fortunate that I could watch it at work. We've talked about streaming and cord cutting and all that kind of stuff a lot, and one of the benefits of that is that you can turn services on and off when you need them. So I haven't been paying for a TV service. So last week, my daughter wanted to watch World Cup, so she turned on YouTube, whatever their streaming package is called, not YouTube, Hulu. We pay for the regular Hulu, but she turned on the live TV. We're going to have it through Sunday, and they'll turn it off. So
you made a correction, but YouTube has TV now as well.
YouTube does have.
In fact, a big news item that broke today was that their live stream of the World Cup broke down this afternoon. I don't know what caused the outage, but I'm sure there were a lot of upset people. My company is an international business as well, and they are very World Cup supportive. In fact, they put out an announcement to all of our employees, and we've got like almost 40,000 employees around the world, and they said, we appreciate the fact that this is a big event, and we invite you guys to watch the matches in designated areas as long as your work doesn't suffer and you're cognizant of your time. Please enjoy. So there were folks in the lunchrooms today. I heard lots of shouting at certain points, but it started to die down. So there must have been a lot of British soccer fans today, because I guess the end of the game did not particularly please them.
Yeah, I just watched it at my desk. They had it on in the break room, but I was doing phone calls and stuff, and it was actually a really good game. The Croatians, you got to hand it to them. They have.
They were down 1-0 until like almost the end of the game, right? And then they scored to tie it.
It was, I want to say it was like maybe halfway through the second period.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't the very end of the game to tie it. It was late in the game, but it wasn't super late in the game.
But they scored the go ahead in overtime, pretty late in overtime, right?
They did. It was I can't remember, but it was in the second overtime, because they do 2 overtime periods. Yeah. And it was the second one, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. I got a couple of colleagues that I was hanging out with in England when I was there that I'm sure are going to be very, very sad for the next couple of years.
It could have been England versus France. That would have been huge numbers.
Little bit of a rivalry there.
Yeah. So it'll be Croatia and France. So I think like in a week.
Sunday,
Oh,
Sunday
okay.
morning for the States. It's
Yeah.
I think it's 8
So
a.m. for
so
us.
we were we had did a week. We did about 4 days in Paris, and then we went and did 3 days in Scotland, and
Oh,
actually saw some of the first few matches in Scotland. And Scotland's funny because they are a part of the UK, but as far as the World Cup goes, they will cheer for anybody but
England.
anybody but
Yeah. Well, that's funny.
So I'm sure there are a lot of people in Edinburgh enjoying today.
Yeah, that is funny. So.
Well, Mr. Keith is taking his family to the carnival. Our hometown does a fireman's carnival every year, and it's kind of a big deal. It's for the longest time there wasn't anything really going on in Webster where we grew up, but there was always a fireman's carnival. So Keith's father-in-law was a volunteer fireman, and so he has worked the carnival even after retiring. He has worked the carnival for years and years. So they go every year, and tonight was the night. It's opening night, I believe. So he's enjoying that and not drinking beer, but that won't stop us.
He may be drinking beer, but he's not drinking it with us. Damn it.
That's true. But we're going to drink beer. We're doing a BYOB show, everybody. If you're not familiar with the Pine of No Return show, first of all, thanks for stopping in. We are a beer podcast and kind of just a shoot the bull kind of a podcast. We take a beer each and every week, usually. Tonight, notwithstanding, it's the same beer, and we drink it and give it a rating, talk about it, and then maybe talk over some issues of the day. Usually a lot of geek stuff or other things that catch our fancy. So. And this is really a pretty mild show. Usually we're a little more wacky and zany tonight, but just kind of doing it easy. It'd probably be a little bit of a shorter show. So Gary and I each brought a beer. Gary, what did you bring this evening?
Freedom.
Gary brings freedom.
Budweiser, apparently, thanks to Aaron for pointing this out to us. They brewed a special red lager, Freedom Reserve, that I guess is a summer 4th of July-ish kind of beer. That's supposed to be something special. So I figured I'd try it. My wife picked up a 6-pack for me yesterday, and I'm gonna give it a go. Take one for the team.
Is drinking a chain brewery beer.
Mass chain
brewer. I'm going back to our old friends at Shiner, the Texas guys, and they have out one of their specialty brews this year is Shiner Homespun. It's a cream ale.
Ooh,
and I'm a big fan of the cream ale, so we'll give this a try.
Oh, first mistake is that cheap American beers are twist-offs when they have bottle caps. I forgot that. I'm not used to twist-offs,
So now there, right there, folks, you see actually the perfect tint of cream ale and the perfect that inch thick head, which is very typical with a cream ale, and as opposed to Gary's got a really thin, almost like a Guinness head, although
it was
quite a bit
there and it's gone.
So all right, let's just dig in. Prost.
All right, prost.
Oh man, that's tasty.
It kind of had a little chemically smell, but it doesn't have that kind of taste, so I guess that's good.
That's the evil. That's the evil, Gary. It's the evil Budweiser. The evil InBev.
That's surprising. That was actually
You're enjoying the chemicals? Is that what it is?
No, I was expecting a train wreck of just horrible flavors. And I guess I'm pleased to say that there's not a lot of flavor. So
so you're actually enjoying it because you're not tasting anything.
It's I mean there's a little bit of that kind of lager flavor. It's like you said, pretty low on the head, so kind of flat. So it's just overall bland and unoffensive. So that's not a bad thing.
You're going to give them high marks for that because they're Budweiser.
Like I said in the Slack chat room, which anybody can join if you just ask us. It's a good beer to drink between beers because it keeps you hydrated, right? It's low alcohol, 5.4%. So if you had this between, like I said, you have a good beer, you got to hydrate so that you're not drinking too much, and then yeah. So yeah, I guess if you were at a 4th of July barbecue and you had a couple of cases of this, an individual could probably go through all of those and not even feel like they had a lot of beer. So
well, that's good.
Not a bad thing for a freedom beer. Was it freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose, and they kind of had nothing to lose on this. So
thank you, Ms. Joplin. So yeah, the homespun, really, really good, tasty. I have a soft spot in my heart for cream ales. Cream ales, in general, usually just go out of their way not to make too big of a splash. They're designed to go down really easy and have a very nice mellow taste and a rounded taste to them. It's got less. When you think of cream ales, you're kind of in the Pilsner lager neighborhood, like you're like the next street over. But it's just a little, it's a little less bitter, a little more just even keeled than say a Pilsner. But maybe not quite as weedy, robusty as a lager. It's just kind of really just sits. It's just nice and just calm and mellow. And Shiner, I'm struggling to remember. I'm sure there's been at least one, but I cannot recall a beer from Shiner Brewery. It's a Texas-based Spetzel brewery. I can't recall one that I haven't liked. Even types of beers that I don't care for, like IPAs and double IPAs and triple IPAs. Even those, I can appreciate what they're doing, what they're going for, and they got it again with homespun. It's a really delightful cream ale. You can tell that cream ale when you move the beer back and forth, and you get that nice head just kind of lingering behind that creaminess, almost like a cream soda. It's just really pleasant. So I don't know, quite nice.
I think you made a better choice than I did. So
I appreciate you taking one for the team. I often do for our podcasts, and I'm glad to know you're willing to do it as well.
No, this it's not bad. It's a Budweiser, so you kind of have to take it for that. But
it's having the name Budweiser on it. I folks, for Gary, it has 2 strikes against it already before he's even taken the cap off because it says Budweiser on it.
Yeah, that's true. But I will we did a camping trip a while back and start of the summer, and I intentionally grabbed a few. Well, I had a couple of low alcohol. I tried to look for some low alcohol beers because we were by the river. And you're kind of drinking all day, and you can't have big heavy IPAs and stuff like that because it's just way too much alcohol. So I had a couple of PBRs as mixing them in there as drinks. So there are occasions where you do need kind of the, I guess, cheap American lager kind of beer. And if you want something slightly different, this is not a bad option. Although I don't know if it comes in cans, so not good for lakes and rivers, but it's bottles. But I guess that, I'm kind of matured a little bit in that there are beers that have their place. It's not a beer that I want to sit down at the end of a long day and say, oh, I'm going to crack a beer and just relax. It's not that. It's sort of like you're with a group of friends and you're drinking all day and you just don't want to be completely shit-faced after an hour. So you got to have something that's, that's a beer that's, keeps you going, but is not going to wipe you out. So it's the Budweiser, Coors, Miller. They're good for those kind of things, but I think
right.
PBR is probably the better choice. So.
And certainly cheaper.
Certainly cheaper, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep nursing those as we go through the podcast. Like I say, we're gonna try to keep it short this evening, and when we get to the end, we'll give each beer a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Keith,
Gary, or Jeremy, either one, it's fine.
Well, Keith is the one that even when he's not here, he's questioning how we rate our beers. So.
Well, Untapped makes it very confusing. So.
I'm afraid one of these days when we start a new season, I'll be outvoted and we'll go to back to a 5 model. Although we have too many beers under our belt to convert everything now. But anyway, so Gary, when we go to our pint taken segment, this is where we kind of take some topics and see where the zeitgeist is. Gary was asked to talk about MoviePass.
Yep.
MoviePass is something that he and I both are wholehearted proponents of. If you're not aware of it, it's a movie subscriptions service. It's not like Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. It's an actual in-theater release movie subscription service. You pay $9.99 a month, and you get basically a red card. It looks like a credit card. And don't show your number, Gary. Don't show your number.
I'll cover the end of it. It looks like
there
that.
There you go. Yep. There you go. And what you can do is you can go into any participating theater, and it's pretty much everything. Most of the theaters around you. And you can go to see a movie that you haven't seen already. Go to see a movie for free, one a day.
You can see that the same movie one time.
Yes. Well, it didn't used to be that way, but
yeah,
yes.
They changed it because I saw Black Panther like 3 times with my MoviePass, and I'm the reason it
popped up. Yeah, these for the new rules. So we're going to talk about the new rules in just a minute. So what you have to do is you have to be within 100 yards of the theater, and you have an app on your phone, a MoviePass app. You find the movie and the time in the theater that you're looking for, and you basically check in, say, I'm here, I'm going to come see this movie. So you can't just reserve things from home and then not show up. You go in, you show your pass, they run it through like you're paying for the movie. It comes up zero, you get your ticket, and you're in. Of course, as Gary mentioned, those initial kind of Wild West days of MoviePass, you basically could go see the same movie as many times as you wanted. It didn't. You could, as long as it was just once a day, you could go see. What Thor Ragnarok last year? You can go see that as many times as you want. They've since curtailed that. You can only see a given movie once. So when you bring up your app and the movies come up there, the ones you've seen are already grayed out. You can't even choose them.
Yeah, not an option.
And now, although I don't know if you have this, Gary, a new security feature that they've initiated is they're asking you to take a picture of your movie stub to verify that you indeed did go to that movie.
And I found out that you need to do that like right away.
Within 24 hours.
Well, I'd say like within 24 minutes. Because well, our theater has reserved seating. So MoviePass is great in a lot of ways. But if you have a theater that has reserved seating and you want to go see like Ant-Man and Wasp right now, which is very big, it's going to be hard to use MoviePass because people buy their seats ahead of time.
Right.
So what we often do is we'll go down there early in the day, check in, buy a movie ticket for, like a 7 o'clock show, maybe at lunchtime. Right. But if you forget to scan your ticket, it was a real hassle. Like I had to open a support case because the option to scan the ticket went away because I didn't do it fast enough.
Interesting.
So it's designed to check in, buy a ticket, and then verify that that's the ticket that you bought, like all within a very short period of time.
Yeah. Now they've had issues. They've had issues over the last year or so since it started, with privacy concerns. The CEO famously said at a press conference that they were using the data when you check in to kind of follow you around and see what you're doing or where you go eat, and they're using that data as kind of data mining to sell ads to you. That since has changed supposedly, and they're not doing that.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
But now they do have this check-in policy with your stub. So a couple things I found that I was looking just today. There's 3 different articles about MoviePass.
Well, there's other changes that they've implemented in addition to that. So the take a picture of your ticket stub is one thing, and I think they wanted to do that to verify that the price that you paid is the price that got charged and that you went to the movie. Because most theaters have matinee pricing, or maybe they have my theater has matinee pricing for early shows, and then they have 2 big screens with Dolby Atmos that they actually charge additional for, which I can't use MoviePass on. So the MoviePass kind of wanted to make sure that they weren't getting screwed over by the theater, because if a theater owner could theoretically, if you had MoviePass, say, oh, well, you're going to a matinee show, they could actually charge you full price, not the matinee price. And me as a user of MoviePass, I don't care because I already paid my $9.99 a month, right? So I think
Oh, they're pocketing the difference.
yeah, they could theoretically do that. But so
Yeah.
I think that was that part of that. So now they are doing a thing that I got an email. It's been about two or 3 weeks ago, where they are implementing a peak pricing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to go see, probably think of like a Marvel or The Incredibles or that kind of movie on opening weekend at like a 7, 8, 9 o'clock showing, MoviePass is actually going to charge you an additional fee to go see movies during what they consider peak times. I've seen a couple of things online on Twitter and stuff where it's a couple of bucks extra.
Yeah.
So you can go see the movie, but you're going to be asked to pay additional money during peak pricing.
Now they've explained this in their email, saying still, even if we charge you $3 surcharge, you're still paying far less than you would to go see a film.
Which is true.
Which is true. But it is kind of a does sour people who have gotten used to the walking in for free type movie deal. Of course, this doesn't prevent the time-honored tradition by many moviegoers. I've never ever done this myself. That doesn't prevent people from going into the movie theater and staying for another movie, or
they never
or using their MoviePass, checking in for a movie they have no intention of seeing just so they can go see Infinity War again. Again, I have no idea of anybody who would ever do that, but it does allow, and it's not a foolproof system.
No.
So, the number of members in MoviePass just exploded once word got around through social media of how cool it was.
And once they used to be priced at like $50 a month or something like that, right?
Yeah,
they dropped it.
Yeah. Their shares on the stock exchange are down to 18 cents a share.
Yeah, the part of the reason for them implementing the peak pricing scheme and some of these other things and not going to see more than one movie is because they're bleeding money badly. I am surprised they are actually still in business at this point. I thought that they would go out of business a month ago.
Yep.
So I'm of the notion that I'm going to use it as much as I can until it's gone, because I feel like it's going to go. Now they've claimed that they are going to make their money not on subscription dollars, so that they're going to do things like, I don't know, using the data about people to sell ads, cross promotions.
Yep, they have your email address.
Yeah,
they can definitely see what types of movies you go to, the types of actors that you go to see, the times that you go to a movie, the places that you go to a movie, and all that stuff is data that they can sell.
But some of that's like, okay, if let's say you're Citibank, and I have a Citibank credit card, my billing zip code is where I live, right? Yep. So where I use my Citibank card is it's often really close to that zip code. Right. So some of the data that they have is just data that that's not unique to MoviePass. And in terms of going to see movies at specific times, it's like, okay, well, movie theaters are open from, usually, maybe 11 o'clock is the earliest show. Latest show you're going to get is, maybe 11 o'clock at night. So most people don't go to the movies during the workday. They go, on the weekends or in the evening, unless you're maybe a retiree and you like to save some money and go on that matinee. But that's all data that everybody already knows anyway. So I am struggling to find out, in my mind, think of how they are going to use the data about what movie tickets I buy and the movie theater that is the closest one to me, which, like I said, everybody already knows anyway.
Right.
I mean, you could Google search that based on just what you know about me off of the PNR show, and figure out where I am most likely to go to the movie.
Yeah.
You know, I do not know how they're going to survive at $9.95 a month, even if they charge peak pricing, because I would say at least half of the people with Movie Pass will just go, peak pricing, now I'll wait a week. And they'll go see something else that's not peak pricing.
Yeah. Now, interesting thing about peak pricing, that was put out on the website. I've linked it in the show notes for you, Gary, about peak pricing, was that it wasn't clear in the original email, but if you did look down through the policy and through the fine print, you did find that prepaid subscribers, like ones that do a monthly withdrawal, an auto withdrawal, and if they're current with their membership, that they are not subject to those peak pricings.
Yeah. So prior to the monthly deal, Movie Pass was doing quarterly and annual pricing. So instead of, like, I'm paying $9.95 a month, so $120 a year, they had a deal that you could do it like for like $100 a year. You could buy it for the whole year. So I have a couple of friends that got that. They stopped doing that right before I joined. So I didn't get that deal. So if you're on one of those annual plans, they're not going to implement peak pricing until you have to renew.
Right.
And I'm assuming that once your renewal comes up, you will then be on a monthly plan, because they're, like I said, you know, they're short of cash.
But if you're on if you started on a monthly plan like I did and like Gary is on, your plan doesn't have to renew. It's an automatic thing. So apparently we will not be subject to those peak times, which is good. Although I mean, it says we won't. It says we won't.
We'll have to see. I updated the app.
Although, yeah, I will say that my wife and I, you know, we don't have kids. We're getting to be the older crowd, the older half of the population. So it's a very rare instance where she and I will ever go to the opening weekend of a big movie. No. You know, we'll usually wait. I waited personally, and I could not wait to see Infinity War. I waited 2.5 weeks until the theater started to clear out before I went.
There's a couple of movies. I generally am of the notion that I'm going to wait. Like, but it depends on
a week.
Yeah. And like, my daughter's birthday was on Sunday, the Sunday we just had, and she wanted to see Ant-Man and the Wasp on her birthday, and so I knew that because it was opening weekend. It's Sunday, but it's still opening weekend. I bought tickets in advance for the whole family, or I went together. So there are occasions where I actually still go buy movie tickets, but it's usually a special occasion like that.
Yeah.
So we did the same thing for Incredibles 2, because it opened Father's Day weekend, and I said, that's what I want to do for Father's Day. I want to go see Incredibles. So me being the father that I am, bought the whole family the tickets instead of them taking care of it, because, you know, that's the way it goes. So a couple of times I'll go in special occasions, but yeah, I'm like you. I'm going to wait. I waited for Solo, which came out in May, and until I could see it on Movie Pass without having to worry about the whole advanced seating thing. So
yeah. So even though Movie Pass, as popular it is doing incredibly poorly financially, that has not stopped other companies from looking to ways to kind of eat into that market. And a number of them have come out. Most notably, I was looking, a company or a service called, I'm thinking it's close to Cinema. It's Sinemia, Cinemia, but I would think it should sound like Cinemia. And what they're doing is they're offering a monthly plan. It's tiered pricing, so you can pay for $4.99 a month to see one movie a month, $6.99 a month to see 2 movies a month, and you can do premium formats of like 3 tickets a month at $9.99 or $14.99. Now that's obviously way less advantageous than Movie Pass, where you can see a movie a day. But what Cinema does, different than MoviePass, is they actually work with restaurants.com. And they send you $300 worth of restaurant gift cards.
Wow.
And if I'm understanding this correctly, it's I just lost the article here. There we go. So they up to $300 in restaurant.com e-gift cards that can be redeemed at over 62,000 locations across the country. In addition to the set number of movie tickets a month, you're going to receive a $25 gift card every month. So across over the course of the year, that's $300. So every time you go out to a movie, or if you do the once a month, you basically could go out to dinner or get one dinner per person, $25. So that's $600 a year for a couple. You can go out to movies.
Yeah, that's like the the high school baseball team comes around every year and does a fundraiser where they sell you the coupon book.
the coupon book, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but these are apparently these aren't buy one meal get one half price type thing. These are actual gift cards that you can redeem.
So I can go give them to the homeless people downtown.
You certainly could if you want.
That actually might be a good way to use them.
Yeah. So that's something different. I personally rather prefer MoviePass's thing because then I can just go see a movie whenever I want. Especially in the summertime, a $4.99 a month deal where I can only see a movie a month when there's literally a blockbuster coming out that I want to see every week.
Yeah.
That's not going to work for me.
Or when Oscar season comes around and there's a bunch of movies you want to go see, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
AMC, which is, I don't know if they're back east or not, but they're certainly in the western part of the country. They have a loyalty program / similar thing to MoviePass where you get like discounts on concessions and other things like that.
Ours does too, and free tickets eventually if you go to enough movies.
Well, right? ours has a loyalty program. My theater has a rewards card where you just spend enough money, you get free stuff, right? But you got to spend like $100 to get an ice cube or something, right? Mm-hmm. The AMC is a subscription type service that's similar to MoviePass, but it also comes with like concession discounts and other things like that. And we don't have an AMC theater in my town, so I'm not going to buy into it. But in San Francisco, they have several of them, and around the Bay Area, they have a lot of those. So if there was one near you, I would seriously consider that instead of MoviePass. One, because I don't know that MoviePass is going to survive. I actually don't think MoviePass is going to survive. I think there's going to be something that is similar, maybe this one you're talking about, that comes out of it. I mean, MoviePass can pull it off, but they're going to have to change some things.
There will be a company that comes out that learns from MoviePass's mistakes, figures out what they did wrong, comes in, and they'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, it'll happen. But until then, I'm gonna ride the MoviePass thing
because clearly the demand is there. I mean, their membership shot up by like 5,000% in the first couple of months of their.
What do you think? What's your usage of MoviePass? Like how? Like, it's $9.95 a month, which is basically a movie a month, right? Yep. So what do you think you're averaging?
I would say it varies. Right now, actually, we're in a little bit of a slower period, believe it or not, in the summer because my wife's schedule has been so chaotic and we've been traveling and going over. But all things being equal, we were probably going to about 4 movies a month. We were going once a weekend to go see something.
So
and it also led us to try movies that we probably would not have if we had to pay full price. And some we enjoyed and some we didn't enjoy, but yeah. Why? How many are you guys doing?
Counting it up. So I have seen 21 movies on MoviePass, because if you go to the
app,
since I started,
okay.
If you go to the app and count thing, and then history. It tells you
Oh, okay.
what movies you've seen. I do not know exactly when I started MoviePass, but I want to say it was Oscar season, so I think it was probably like December.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7 months.
Yep.
So
It's like November, October for us, and I've seen 26 movies.
yeah. So I'm averaging 3 movies a month
Yeah.
with MoviePass. If I say it's
Yeah,
7
you're
months.
right there. So
Yeah. So to
obviously,
me, I'm getting value out of it because that's I'm like you. There's movies that I have seen that I would not have seen on MoviePass. For example, Tag, which was
we just saw that last week. Yeah.
very entertaining. It was funny. It had some really
Yeah,
great
it's
moments,
pretty
but
good. Yeah.
not something I would have paid money to go see.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of movies on there that I would have paid to see. Jurassic World, I saw that with MoviePass. I saw Solo with MoviePass. I saw Deadpool 2 with MoviePass. All those movies I would have definitely paid money to go see.
Sure.
Um, and there's a lot of other ones that I would have, well, Black Panther 3 times, but like you, movies that I probably, I'm not quite sure about.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Thoroughbreds, which was kind of a dark, kind of Heathers type of vein movie, which
Right.
was not as good as it should have been. Other movie like 1517 to Paris, I saw because I was on a work trip and I had nothing else to do in the evening, so I went and saw it, and glad I did not pay for it. So for me, MoviePass, averaging 3 movies a month has been a great, great deal, and I hope that it continues.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not sure that it will.
Unfortunately, I don't see, like you were saying, I don't see how it can continue unless they start taking or asking more things of us.
I just went to moviepass.com and checked it out. So they have the MoviePass Unlimited. There was a link on the homepage that said see plan. So I clicked it. $9.95 a month for what we have.
Mm-hmm.
They have a $7.95 a month where you can see 3 movies per month, and you get a free 3-month trial to iHeartRadio, which I could personally care less about.
Right.
So basically, they're offering a reduced plan that's $7.95 a month. So based on my average, I could be saving myself $2 a month if I switch to that, because I would only see 3 movies a month.
I find it interesting that a company that's about to go out of business is offering you a 3-month membership to another company that's about to go out of business.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, maybe they're trying to get some synergy there and
some synergy and despair and desperation. So
yeah, I wouldn't pay that. I'll stick with my $9.95 a month just because there are months where I will go see 6 movies.
Right.
Just because of that.
So what do you say we rate our beers?
Which beer? I moved on.
Rate the beer you came. Rate it with the gal you came with.
I'll start with that one.
The Budweiser.
So Budweiser Freedom Lager, I gave this a 3 on Untapped, which in P&R scale is a 6.
Wow, that's impressive for a large brewery for you.
Like I said, it wasn't offensive, and if it's a beer that I can actually drink and I don't feel like it's going to make me vomit, it's worth something. And I do think it has its place. Like I said, it's a good in between beers kind of thing.
Good.
That's a 6. I followed that up with a local one from 101 North called Dirty Hoppy, which I don't know if you can see that label, but take off on the old Clint Eastwood.
Looks very Eastwoody. Yep.
Yeah. That is a much better, more flavorful beer.
Whoa.
That would be my microphone falling over. That's a much. I'm not going to rate it because it's not the beer I brought, but it's. Yeah. I would recommend that over the Freedom.
All right. So yeah, for homespun, I mean, this hits all the right buttons for me. Shiner, another great brew. I'll give this an 8, easy.
Wow.
It's just really pleasant, really nice to drink. So, Okay. Did you have a pick for the week that you wanted to do real quick?
I can make a pick. Sure. You might notice some junk in the background back
Yeah.
there. Those are the remnants of what I took backpacking last week when I went with my daughter. We did 2 nights in Desolation Wilderness up on the west side of the Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
And that is my pick, getting out and being like truly out. No cell coverage,
Hmm.
nothing. We were miles and miles away from anything. There were other backpackers up there, and some day hikers and stuff. So it wasn't like we were completely isolated, but um, it was simply amazing just to be out, in nature and having no connection to the rest of the world and uh, time just to look around and enjoy it. So my pick is getting out and disconnecting. And if you can get to backpacking somewhere where you're really out there, I would say go do that and enjoy the planet we live on and take some time to relax, especially with someone that you love and care deeply about. So
Nice.
that is my pick.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a future pick. I have not gone to see this yet. Gary actually mentioned this earlier that he had seen this, so maybe he can give me a little insight of what to look for. I am recommending you go see Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Excuse me. Now, I love the MCU. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There has not been a film in that universe that I could not find something to absolutely love. There now, not every film has been a home run, but all of them have been at least
A
doubles.
double, at least a
Yeah,
double. Yeah.
yeah. So Ant-Man, the first one, I really, really enjoyed. And Ant-Man is kind of a departure from the rest. I mean, the cinematic, the main characters in the Marvel universe. Most of the films, especially this last one, Infinity Wars, are incredibly heavy. And having seen Infinity War twice now, I will say definitively, and I do not hesitate in saying this at all, it is the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's
Mhm.
just that good to me. But with all that, comics can also be fun and tongue in cheek. Deadpool being a great example, but just kind of it's a good natured fun. And Ant Man, the first Ant Man for me was that it was just a fun movie, and from everything that I'm hearing, it's kind of more of the same. Kind of like almost like a sorbet cleanser after Infinity War. So, Gary, what did you think of Ant Man and the Wasp?
It was really good. It was very enjoyable. If you liked the first one and enjoyed that one, you will definitely like and enjoy this one. There was some question with Infinity War of where's Ant Man, and the general consensus was, well, Ant Man's got his own movie coming out this summer, so he can't be in Infinity War. Although Black Panther was in Infinity War. So they do not address, just to let you know, they do not address Infinity War at all in the main movie. You have to stay for the first post movie. It's like halfway, like they do the animated credit
The end
stuff where,
credit scene, yeah,
yeah, well, they do like the main end credits where it's like has all the animation and the main characters and stuff, and then they have a scene, and then they do the long
sure,
scroll of 10,000 names, right?
yep,
So stay for the first one. The second one at the very, very end, it's I was pissed that I had to
just
stay for that.
just a throwaway.
Yeah, it's completely. They actually show it in the previews, and if you've seen TV commercials for Ant-Man, you've seen the end credits scene, the very, very end.
Yeah,
But they do address Infinity War in that post credit scene, so you do got to watch that.
that's great.
The first one, it was really good. It is like you said, a much lighter, lower key, more contained, and not trying to be too much. And I
Yep.
think they held true to the spirit of the first Ant Man movie. I will say that I thought the villains in the movie were very weak. Like they weren't really villains.
Mhm.
They needed some kind of antagonist to get them going, but it was they could have done better on that aspect of it. Um,
Mhm.
but it's good. It's certainly worth seeing. Even if you don't have Movie Pass, you should go see it. It's a great movie.
Now,
It's fun. Everybody
without
enjoyed it.
giving any spoilers, which I can't because I haven't seen the movie, to address what you've said, and how Ant-Man fits into Infinity War. Apparently, he's going to have a huge role to play. No pun intended, since he's Ant-Man. A huge role to play in the second movie.
Well, one of the things in this movie is he, in Civil War, they showed him grow larger, right?
Yeah.
And they take off on that, so he could be huge in Infinity War. I will say that when that end credit scene played, and it had to tie into Infinity War, everybody not everybody, because there were some people like my wife and one daughter who hadn't seen Infinity War, but everybody who follows, like you and I, the MCU, at the end of that credit scene, the very, very last shot of that movie, everybody was like, "Oh shit!" That was.
I'm excited.
It was like a collective. The whole thing was
I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, I think I might go see this tomorrow night. So.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm very psyched, and hopefully we'll have our third amigo back next week to continue the trek down the beer path. So thank you guys for one and all for listening to us. Recommend us to folks around. I guarantee we usually we're usually a lot more jolly and festive on our regular shows. This was just kind of, like I said, a mellow show. So Gary, do you have any closing thoughts as you're zooming in on the dogs?
I got one dog here, and I got another dog over there. Can't do my camera very well. I have not fed them dinner yet, so my
time to eat. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and drink more beer.
Drink more beer. You got to sing us out, Rob?
I'll drink more beer.